tell them
It's,
why I'm
yeah, it was awesome. When everybody was arriving, we were going to surprise everybody with a 100-foot hot air balloon out by the dock. So when everybody was coming in on the ferry, here it would be, right there. And everybody could come over and check it out and maybe even take a little ride up and down in it. But unfortunately, the weather didn't quite cooperate today. But it was exciting, the process of coming into the city to do this.
But the question I'm having is, has there ever been a hot air balloon in New York before? And if so, how did it get there? And was it expected? That's the question.
Well, that's a very good question. So what I'd like to do is share a little story. I guess, were you at the end there? Yeah, that's the end. That's the last one right there. All right, that looks like the beginning. Well, not too long ago, me and a friend of mine took a little flight. And this is the beginning of the flight right here as we started out. And as you can see, there's a lot of water. We didn't intend on any water in the process. Okay. Okay, you can keep going every couple of seconds or so. It'll be pretty good. We launched from the New Jersey area, and our intent was to fly out this way. As a matter of fact, our intent was to fly over the city, directly over Manhattan, and continue on into Boston. That's Sandy Hook, New Jersey, we're looking back on right now. And that's like right along Staten Island. And as we took off, we actually realized that the wind was co-pilot Ron right there. And you'll notice his life vest he has on because the wind was taking us out past Coney Island out to sea. So at that point, we were getting a little bit nervous. We had our Coast Guard phone numbers ready just in case. Our intent was to wait for a wind shift that we were expecting later on in the day, which would bring us over the city. A couple of sailboats underneath us. And at this point, we're coming up to like the Verrazano, and we got our wind shift, and we actually started to hang a left. We took off our life vests, put away the Coast Guard numbers because we realized that at this point we're actually going to hang a left, which will lead us right into Manhattan. Coney Island, looking back in New Jersey right there. And at that point, we needed to be pretty low in order to get the wind that we needed for steering. And it was amazing, the people yelling up at us from down below. It was unbelievable, the response. Everybody was screaming and cheering because you just don't see a balloon over the city like this. And we figured we probably would miss the city because the wind wasn't quite right. But as we're coming across right up by the Verrazano and got our welcome by the police department there, they were with us for about an hour of the flight, just kind of checking us out. And we were waving and kind of talking and smiling. But we even got more of a left turn, which was perfect for us. It's exactly what we wanted. We actually were talking to some of the crew members on these tankers that were anchored down there. As a matter of fact, we got a call from air traffic control, asked us to go a little bit higher because you'll notice there's extremely large no smoking signs on a lot of these oil tankers here. So we obliged and we climbed up a few feet just to make everybody happy on that end. And looking back at the Atlantic, Verrazano, actually a couple of crew members were pretty nice. We were actually joking with them. It was pretty cool. That guy, he was pretty neat. I didn't get his name, though. And, biggest no smoking sign I've ever seen. Staten Island Ferry, those people were pretty cool. They were all in the front. And then now we realized we were going to go right up the Hudson, past the statue. We could have landed right in the front. But since that's a national park, we would have gotten a little bit more feedback than we did on that one. But it was just that smile on my face. I had the whole flight because it was just very surreal to just be over the city. It was absolutely astounding. We went right up the Hudson. We figured we were going to go all the way up past the GW Bridge and just continue north. But what happened is when we got up a little bit further, as you'll see, we got another wind shift which started pushing us back into the city. So at that point, our only choice was to climb up, so we obviously wouldn't, hit any buildings or anything like that. So now we're getting a little bit closer to the city. We're trying to stay low to get our left to stay away from the city, but they had to put this golf driving range there, so that forced us to go up high over that thing. And at that point, we had to talk to air traffic control to get clearance to cross the city, so we figured, well, we'll shoot over the top of the city, end up on the other side. But once we got up over the city, looking down on it, actually, I was thinking about landing right there, but that helicopter came in, landed right in front of me, blew the whole spot. But looking down on the city, it was amazing. And as we were crossing it, we came upon an incredible sight. We're crossing horizontal or went parallel up, and we crossed perpendicular over the city. And you'll see this one of these last shots. That was the Intrepid there. What an awesome view that was. And you could still hear. All right, hold that shot right there. Back up one, if you could. That we came across this site right here, and I looked at my co-pilot Ron, and I said, "We got to take this." It was too perfect. We were lined up right for the baseball field areas, and we looked at each other. He was on the radio with air traffic control. He looks at me and says, "Do it." So he calls in and says he asked for permission to land there, and obviously they said, But well, they wouldn't say. They didn't want to commit. But they asked us in a very roundabout way if we'd like to declare a slight emergency of some sort or whatever. And we said, well, in return. And and they said, good luck, have a nice day. So we took it. It was a perfect landing. And we were welcomed by the friendliest citizens of the city. And that's pretty much the response. Everybody's scratching their heads, pointing, talking on radios, and not really knowing what to do with us. And I guess to make a long story short, after a very nice 7-hour visit in the Central Park precinct there, they asked us all kinds of questions. They asked us why we landed there, and you meant to do it, didn't you? Well, no, you see, you can't steer a balloon, and, it blows with the wind. You never know where you're going to land. I couldn't do it again if I tried, and they didn't want to buy that. And after 7 hours of trying to convince them, we finally did, and that was it. So we did get hit pretty hard, though. We got a unauthorized use of the park summons, so. Thank you.